Streaming 24/7.
24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika nakupenda sana. Oh, Afrika nakupenda sana.
Wow, Africa, nakupenda sana. When you hear that song, you know that it is that moment where we are connecting here with us at the African experience. You are with me, Dr. HLAMI. I'm not alone. As always, I have my beautiful partner here, MABUNDA. Mandla, do you want to say hi to the listeners?
Thank you, Doc. It's always nice. A Tuesday, 6 p.m. We have a date with our people, with our listeners. I'm very happy and blessed to be part of the show. And today I'm excited because we are going to talk to a very beautiful and versatile woman. So, Doc, I can't wait to get going.
Oh, I'm very, very excited. Very shortly, we'll be introducing our guest. But there's something that I want to claim here. Her name is Creseldah Ndlovu. And Mandla, my mother is Ndlovu. So I already feel very connected, with Creseldah. And I've been following her on social media. Creseldah, welcome to the African experience with us tonight. May you please say hello to the listeners?
Thank you very much, Dr. HLAMI, for the warm welcome. And I'm so glad to be here as well. I feel so blessed as well. And I hope we're going to have a great moment with our listeners. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. The theme of today, which I like so much, is that the kindness is the currency. And this is something that, speaks to your life and speaks to the work that you are doing. By the way, I'm actually your number one stalker. If there is somebody who's stalking you, it's me, because I'm always following you on the social media, because I feel very inspired about, your work. And we are so happy today just to see you and to spend, an hour with our audience, to get to know more about, who you are. On that note, maybe just tell our listeners, who is Creseldah Ndlovu? In the nutshell, who are you?
Thank you so much, Dr. HLAMI, once again. That question I always struggle to answer because, sometimes it depends how people knows you, and that's not really defined who you are. But I've learned over the years that I've been doing the charity work, it's something difficult for me to talk for myself. But Creseldah, it's a woman who is from South Africa, Mpumalanga and Bushbuck Ridge. I'm born and raised in the village called Justicia, and I grew up in a single-parented family where my mom was a domestic worker. So Creseldah Ndlovu was born there, and now I'm a mother. I've got 3 girls. I'm married. I'm a pastor, and I'm a community builder. This is one of the It's one of the title I love. Not because of the word community builder, but because of the work behind it. So basically, Creseldah, it's a born-again Christian as well.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And when you talk about you being a community builder, we can see that, Mandla, I've been stalking Creseldah for so many years, and there is a lot that we're going to learn from her today. Yeah, what do you think? A community builder.
Wow, talk about, versatility. I cannot wait. I'm inspired by her story. I'm inspired about where she comes from and where she's at now, and her humility. How humble can one be? She can't even explain all those great things that we are waiting to hear in describing who she is. So please, please, please take us through your journey. There is just one phrase that I like about what you say. You say kindness is a currency. Please talk to us about that. I'm quite keen.
Oh, yes. As I said, I've been doing community development work. When I talk about this, actually, I always say I didn't choose community development work or charity work, but it chose me through pains. And those who have been following my story, I was actually around me in the village when I grew up within the family. Most of the kids I have in the household, because when you grow up in the village in the African culture, you are not at your own, and the siblings and everyone, if you have to take over and look after them, it becomes our responsibility. So at the age of 16, I became a teen mother to my siblings. Not that I have a child then, but I never have a child, had a child at a teenage life, but I was a teen mother to my siblings because my mom was working in one of the game reserves in the Kruger National Park, and she only comes home every after 3 months. And for that period, I'll be actually taking over and doing the parenting. So I've learned that kindness, it becomes a currency. What is a currency actually? When we talk about currency, it's something that we exchange it for something. It's an exchange. So currency, I've learned, when I say kindness is a currency, I mean in humanity. When we talk about life in general, I've seen that kindness can heal. Kindness can, there's a phrase I love, that if there's something you can do in life, when I talk about my line of work, where we work with mostly orphans and vulnerables and teen pregnancies girls, if you cannot help them, at least do not hurt them. So that's where I want to talk about, or I call myself a currency consultant, because somehow I've learned that currency can bring so much solutions, even if you didn't bring physically, maybe something that you need to touch lives, but being there, showing kindness can heal. So hence I said kindness is a currency.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for elaborating on that. And today we're going to hear more about the practical experience. And I think what I like about your story, at least the little that I know about you from following you on social media, you know, in Tsonga we say nomo awutaleriwi hi nambu, where
Yeah.
people talk theory, but you don't talk theory, you actually talk practice. I can see here there is a listener here, Gabriel Mafum, says, ha khensa manana Creseldah Ndlovu hi ntirho lowu a wu endleke community hakunene, mintirho ya yena ya
Thank
vulavula ha
you.
khensa pastor. Oh, Gabriel already, he's talking about, the work that you have done for Zola Trust, Amabumbu. Oh, already you can see there is a testament there. Um,
Oh, thank you.
yeah, and I know you talk about, kindness in its currency, right? But you have multiple talents. Sometimes we hear people saying, jack of all trades, master of none, or Jill of all trades, master of none. But you have multiple talents and you seem to master most of them or all of them, as I have seen you, on your social media. I would like you to tell us a little bit about your Creseldah Education Foundation. Maybe let's start there and we'll unpack, one by one, and we see also other things that you are doing. Hmm?
Thank you very much, Dr. HLAMI. The quote that you just said now, I think if you can quickly check for me, because it doesn't end there. I just want to start about that, because when they say jack of all trades, master of none, it's a quote where we usually quote it until there, but I don't want to quote it wrong, but somebody can check it for me quickly and finish it. At the end, it says that person is better than someone who's doing nothing.
Exactly.
So it's something that I've learned over the years. So when I started my charity work, as I said, Creseldah Education Foundation was born. The first work that I did, it was in 2003-4, where we started pastoring a church in one of the villages. So what was happening when I go to church every Sunday, I've got the heart that really cares, and I will be always wondering when I see kids, and Dr. Hlami, when you see the child who's hungry, who's poor, who need just love, you can tell just by looking at the child. So what happened, I was every time bringing sandwiches for those kids. And later, after a few months, it was every Sundays. Then my heart was like, if I bring sandwiches for every Sundays, and these kids, I can see they really need somebody to take care of them. What's happening actually during the week if we're not here? So that's why I announced from the church. I said, any volunteers, can you please join? Whoever wants to, I will provide whatever I have. I don't have much as well, but I believe little is much when God is in it. So that's why I started providing meals for the kids, and we had volunteers from the church. Now the kids, the number was growing until I think I remember then we had about 108 orphans and vulnerables.
Wow.
And I didn't have a name for that. That's quite funny actually. We didn't even have I didn't have a name for, because I never knew anything about
Charity.
non-profit organizations and all that. So I was just doing something out of heart, caring for the little ones and all that. So I remember the ladies from the church, everyone was just, when we started recording their names and all that, so we wanted to do the list of poor of the poorest. When you start working with kids, you have to have records and all that. So every week there will be a new name for the organization. Until one day God spoke to me about the words that Yesu ihose, which is a Shangani word that means Jesus is Lord. So I cried when the words came to me to say, Jesus is Lord despite our situations. Jesus is Lord despite our poverty. Jesus is Lord. So the name was then registered for the full 5 years, Dr. Hlami. I was providing meals for those children.
From your own
Full
pocket.
5 years, and it was
Wow.
not yet registered. As I said, I didn't know anything about it. Then when the number was growing, I was struggling now, couldn't manage to provide meals for the number of kids. So that's why I started asking, can we have food? Can we have food parcels and all that? So one lady from another village said to me, are you registered? I said, what do you mean? Then said, no, but then you cannot get any funding without the registration. So that's where, to cut that long story short, I finally got the info to register the NPO, and somehow God worked His own ways, and His ways is always the best. There's a verse that I love, Romans 8:28. All things works together for good to those who love the Lord. I've seen Him through the program. Now I want to talk about how Creseldah Education Foundation was born. So as we're continuing, after 5 years, we got help from Department of Social Development. They bought us food now, and the ladies who were volunteering, they were getting stay pets now. It was starting to be better, and the work was growing within the community actually. So then my heart, when I do something, as I said, I don't do something because I want favor or I want to get praised for whatever I'm doing. So it's something that is within me. Then I knew we were providing food for the kids. The kids were getting meals every day, but my heart was like, what's going to happen? We need to have a solution. So if they grow up, it's not about food, they need to have life as well.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
started the program to go within schools, motivating and started applying. Then one of the social workers said, no, we cannot combine the nutrition program and the educational program. So that's where we have to split now. I said, no, it's fine. This is going to be the educational foundation because I want to deal with the kids. They need to go to university. When I grew up, I didn't go to university.
Yep.
No one even bothered to ask me after matric and all. And I don't blame anyone for that. I think it was how it was. It worked out for where I am today. So
Yep.
what I did then, that's how Creseldah was Education Foundation was
I
born.
see.
And as I talk now, we have managed to apply. We have actually produced graduates through the program, through people who are
Wow.
sponsoring us, who send
Wow.
people to universities. Now they are graduates, and many things has happened. I can't even mention everything, but that's how Creseldah Education Foundation was born.
Wow. Wow. That is so beautiful. What I'm learning from this is that you started by giving food, and you realize that giving food, they eat food, and the food is finished now. Then you are looking into the future to say, how do you then assist these children so that they are able to actually help themselves in the future, and
True.
you actually support them through education. Wow, I see one of the listeners there, Tsakan Baba, say, wow, well done, Ceci. She's even
Thank
clapping
you.
hands. Wow,
Oh,
wow.
thank you.
Mandla, yo,
Yebo.
I actually develop, some goosebumps. I feel like, it's I feel like,
I
I could just go
know.
there and see for myself, what is happening there. But this is really, really exciting. Hmm.
It's
Thanks so
amazing,
much.
Doc. It's amazing. I'm sitting here, just listening and, I'm absorbing everything. I'm like, you know what? There are just people who are just got sent out there. But on that note, we still have a lot to cover on the African experience and we welcome everyone that is joining us. But, before we go further, I think it's time for an ad break. And then when we come back, we will know more about this social entrepreneur called Creseldah Ndlovu. Let's go for an ad break.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You are with
Thank you.
us. It is the African Experience with me, Dr. HLAMI. I'm not alone. I'm with my beautiful partner here, Mandla Mabunda. We are spending the evening tonight with a wonderful, wonderful person with a beautiful story, Ms. Creseldah Ndlovu. Before we went on an ad break, you heard how she started, her foundation, something that she did not plan for, but through the need in and around her community, things led to another until she registered that foundation. Criselda, would like to know more about, and what I like about your story, you started with food parcels and feeding children, and now it goes to the education, foundation. But I know you also did something around, some sanitary pads or sanitary towels. Tell us a little bit more about how that came about and what you are doing and how many years have you been doing that as well?
Thank you very much for that. Our sanitary pads are washable and reusable. Those who are watching can just go to the internet and check the standard for the in South Africa for the first time ever in our country or in Africa in 2020. It was introduced that we have a standard for the washable and reusable sanitary towels. So we are in a process of getting the certification from SABS as well. So these are the products where you wash and reuse for the girl child. As I said, everything that I'm doing, it's about giving back. It's about helping the little Creseldahs. Actually, it's all about becoming the help that I once needed as a child. Because when I grew up
See.
as a girl, when you see your menstruations, obviously you need sanitary pads. But coming from poverty, there's no such. No one even asks you that which month, which dates in the month it's your period. So that's where I came with the idea to help the little Creseldahs. After my mom was a domestic worker, but when we grew up, she was telling me that I never want to hear anything about sewing. But then when I grew up now, later, 20 years ago, I went to the fashion academy where I did my fashion designing.
Mm-hmm.
And later on, I developed a love of sewing and all that. So after, in 2016, actually, I had a program before that through Creseldah Education Foundation where we were donating the disposable sanitary towels at school. But every time we leave the school, in my heart, I was like, yes, we did give them the sanitary towels for this month, but what's going to happen next month? Because menstruation is monthly, it's not a once off and it's not a choice. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where I was always thinking every time we do the charity drive for the sanitary towels at school, when I get home, I'll ask next month what's going to happen to that little girl if She don't, because obviously we don't go every month. We just go whenever we get donations. So that's where the idea came. Sat down and used my fashion designing skills. Now I don't know how many, I kept all the samples sexual I made. I was trying to get a shape, and it was not even we get the announcement about the certification. So here it's something that I was doing it out of love. That's where later on now I've managed to finally introduce the products and the packaging and everything. It was out of the perfect standard because I believe that when you give something, it should be something that you're going to use as well. And that's what created the social enterprise now, because everyone who's in charity organization, I always say, don't start something. Let's talk about charity organization now. If you want to do a charity organization because you want others to fund you, that's not your field. You are doing it wrong. You must give because you started the foundation. There's a vision in your heart. So that's what I did with the foundation, and that's what we introduced the social enterprise as part of sustainability. And as I speak now, we have managed to distribute over 5,000 reusable and sanitary towels, and our sanitary towels last up to 5 years. So meaning now when we go to the high school and give a girl child in grade 8, meaning that child will live until grade 12 not having a problem missing school because of because of not having the sanitary pads. So yeah, basically that's how the safe pads was born, and I'm so glad it's changing life, and many girls' lives were touched.
Wow, wow. Wow, you know, I'm just sitting here. I'm listening to your story firsthand, not on social media, and I'm so excited because we are actually talking to you. You know, when you're on social media, you see that, but you can't even ask a question. You can't even probe to see the facial expression. You know, as you are sharing, I can see passion written all over your face. I can see that kindness, that is a currency that you are actually talking about. Thank you so much for the kind of work that you're doing. What I like, you know, Mandla, is that, you know, she's doing something that is actually long term. You know, the Creseldah Education Foundation, now the sanitary, you know, towels that are actually long lasting. I'm so excited about it. What are your thoughts, my friend, there?
Yo, Dr. Hlame, I cannot believe this. I mean, this is one woman who grew up under circumstances that, you know what, do not really motivate or inspire anyone to turn out like she did. So I'm blown away. And I mean, our listeners as well, people that are watching the show are also very much impressed. I mean, Pumla Mavasa is saying beautiful work, says Creseldah. You know, you are inspiring a lot of people. And I hope we could really clone you and have a lot of Creseldahs everywhere, because you know what, the girl child needs that. I mean, menstruation is one thing that you don't choose. It's not a choice. When you're a girl, it happens. Now, one would think that, you know, when it happens, you do have something to keep you going until you don't have it anymore. But anyway, you know what, Doc? Bari mitiro ya vulavula. This is a woman who has had several accolades and awards because of the work that she's doing. Please share with us some of your successes, Sis Creseldah.
Um, I don't know, but it's I've got over 50 awards which I've received. The first one was in 2008, and it was from the Mpumalanga Provincial and from the Office of the Premier. It came as a shock because then I was doing, as I said, I was doing all my work passionately, just trying to do whatever I can to make the lives of the younger generation something that I didn't have. I wanted somebody to have it. As I speak now, I just become emotionally because somehow I'm talking about a program which changed lives. When I'm saying change lives, my presenters, I'm talking about a child who was born in a deep poverty, never thought they would go to university, never thought the situation at home will change. But as I speak now, as I said, we have produced many people out of poverty who are now standing at their own. Some of them are even giving back to our organization. So these awards, when I receive them all the time, I'm just an emotional person. When I'm excited, I cried. When I'm head up, I always cry. So as I said, it just makes me more emotionally, because for me, it's not about the awards. I'm not looking for the awards. But as these accolades come, somebody once said, when appreciation goes a long way, it actually encourages us to do more, but we are not looking for the appreciations and thank you and all that. Because
Absolutely.
the person can say thank you right in your face, but and not deeply meaning it in their hearts. So
Absolutely.
I've
Absolutely.
also received the awards internationally. In 2013, I was nominated and a finalist for the Humanitarian Award in London, which I came home with the award. I got a
Wow.
recognition from there as well. And I've
Mm.
also received, I don't know, I can't even mention them, but some
Yeah.
of them are on my website. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so humbled about all those awards I've received. As I
Mm.
said, some of
Mm.
them it came to me as a shock. And one of the awards I received as well, it was home from it's a former acting president, deputy president, I mean, which was
Mm-hmm.
also for social development by the premier,
Yeah.
he was a premier then in Mpumalanga, Mr.
Yeah.
Didi Mabuza, and
Yeah.
all other ones from other organizations, and for the
Yeah.
girl child, for community
Mm.
development. And
Mm.
yeah, it actually encourages one to do more. But as I said, we're not looking for the awards, but
Mm.
anyway, when times come, and it's not, sometimes I'm that person that I don't accept everything. I don't just approve and say. Sometimes I'll receive the email for the recognition, and if
Mm.
my heart says no, I always
Mm.
decline, because for me it's
Mm.
not all about awards. But
Yeah.
whenever my heart says yes, that's where I will
Mm.
definitely accept from the good heart.
Wow. It is, I'm talking to you now, I'm listening to your story. It's very, very humbling, especially that, I have also seen, like I said, that I'm stalking you. I've been going through your social media. You have been featured in, TV shows. Yeah, you also have been featured, in radio programs. But this one, you can't actually get out of the hook with it. I know there was a UK magazine because I saw it, and I want you to
Oh
say a
yeah.
little bit about that. But most importantly, there is something that you shared not so long ago where they were welcoming you as the, I don't know, representative of, I don't know what, that you can't get out of the hook. You have to tell us a little bit more about those two. That UK magazine, and the recent one where I think it's Every Girl Wins, something like that.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah, Every Girl Wins is an organization which operates within over 23 countries.
Okay.
And I was introduced by Dr. Opinde. Dr. Opinde, she's from UK in London,
Mm-hmm.
and I was nominated to the program for the NGO Whisperer, which is for social impact.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a 6 months program. Then after that, the graduation and all that. So
Mm-hmm.
we're doing the course for social impact, and mostly in the NGO sector, doing all the fundraising, marketing, and one of the program actually I loved the module which I loved, it was about mental health and wellness, because we cannot pour from the empty cup. We get depressed at times because working with people, it's not easy. So after the graduation for the program, that's where I was introduced, and the director from Every Girl Wins, she has a very touching and inspiring story, because at the age of, I think at the age of 13, she was also, she became pregnant. And it was a long story from that. Then she started the foundation after it's Dr. Christine. Then she checked my profile. She was so very keen to work with me. And finally, I was nominated to be a South African representative for the program, which mostly make more impact. It's all about protecting and teaching the young girls responsibility and leadership, and
Mm.
teaching them to face the world, and making sure they know that whatever they are facing, it's not their future. In 2012, apparently, I wrote a book titled Your Background is Not Your Future. And on the
Okay.
book, I was actually dedicating it to orphans and vulnerables because I was looking at my life to say, the way I grew up, it's not what I want to end. And as I always say, I'm not blaming anyone for my upbringing. Whatever happened, it was meant to be. But then now, yeah, we have to face the world and make sure we take responsibility for all our actions. So
Yep.
basically, every girl wins. It's all about empowering young girls and helping them to face the future ready.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. We have to take a short break, but when we come back, we would like to hear more about some of the drives that you have. I know you also have a Christmas drive. You also have the sewing with Creseldah, but there are also other initiatives that you are using to actually extend your kindness and benefiting the people around us. So we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to hear more about your work.
Thank you.
Are you ready for the ultimate dietary powerhouse? Look no further than Masana Dietitian's Nutro Boost. Our scientifically formulated low GI food is designed to give you the boost you need to fuel your body and reach your health goals. With NutriBoost, you have the flexibility to enjoy it as a high-fiber cereal or a satisfying shake. Simply mix it with water and indulge in the mouth-watering flavors that we have to offer. But that's not all. NutriBoost is packed with essential nutrients that are beneficial for your overall well-being. Enriched with 20 immune-boosting vitamins and minerals, it's a convenient and effective way to support your immune system. And here's the best part. NutriBoost is gluten-free, egg-free, and high in omega-3, making it suitable for those with dietary restrictions or allergies. Need an energy boost? NutriBoost has you covered. It's high in energy and protein, providing you with the fuel you need to power through your day. Whether it's a busy morning or an intense workout session, say goodbye to midday slumps and hello to sustained energy with NutriBoost. Try it today and experience the difference. For orders or to become a distributor, contact us on the following details.
Wow, wow. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the African experience with me, HLAMI Ngwenya. I'm not alone. I'm with my beautiful host, Mandla Mabasa. Mabunda. Yeah. the information, it's so much in my head, that I'm actually, I don't even know what to say. I know Mandla Nupinyika Shibongo Wanakaina Mabasa.
I'm telling you. But anyway, you know what? I'm so blown away, but I'm quite keen. Creseldah, you've done so much, and your story is very thick, and you appear to me as a deep person. Now, let's look at a young Creseldah, little Creseldah, as you call them, someone who's in your situation at this point. What would you like them to know? Tell you what, because when you are in poverty, there's some little voices that say to you, no, not you. When you cannot dream, when you cannot go anywhere, when you are stuck in this forever. Now, what would you like to tell a little Creseldah who's listening and seeing all the accolades that you have heard?
Thank you so much. I wanted to say the new surname they gave you now, so I just
Oh,
lost it
yes,
again.
yes.
So, to the little Creseldahs, I just want to tell them there's always hope for everyone. And don't sit there and let people feel pity for you. What I've learned in life, I didn't want everyone to be shame to me. And for everything that I went through, when I grew up, it was not easy. There's a show coming up. It's more in detail where I talk about it. but I never allowed anyone to stop me dreaming. What I've learned in life, you need to be focused. You need to know what you want. Like on my side, I function more when I'm at my own. I don't like going out at all. And sometimes, as I said, I decline a lot of invitation. Not that because I don't want to go, but I know I've got more strength when I'm in the corner. I always get more strength when I'm somewhere hiding and finding myself. And because this is a journey of healing, I don't want to lie. I'm in a journey where I am still healing in most of the things that happen. But during that process, during that journey, I don't want to hear anyone feeling shame, feeling sorry for you, because that won't bring anything, won't change anything. But the only thing that will change the life of the little Creseldah, it's when you know what you want in life. When I say knowing what you want in life, I've got a talk with the girls. We call it girls talk. Even at home, as I said, I've got 3 girls. I know we've got WhatsApp group with my girls, and I said, when are we having a girls talk? Because that's where I talk many things. As growing up, most of the things were not discussed, and it was how it was. And now, since we've channel of social media and all that, there's nothing that we can hide from our kids. We need to talk about it. We need to teach them so they don't go out and learn from the world, but they've got somebody here at home who's not telling them anything. So same as the little Creseldah who don't have anyone to hold at their hand as they grow up. Never ever let your life go astray because there's somebody close to you. What I've learned, when you stay focused, when you know what you want, what I teach girls mostly, it's to have that braveness and face the situations. For many things that I'm doing, it's something what I'm actually I sit, and if you can ask me, why did you study this thing? How did you come up with the idea? When I say I don't know, most of the people I know won't believe. But somehow you get to be into your senses when you know what you want, when you want to be the help that you just once needed as a child, as personally, which is my story. So to the little Creseldahs, I can tell you that there's no limit in life. The doors that have opened for me, I never thought I would enter those doors, and nobody opens them, but it was only God. So little Creseldah, face the world with braveness and know that you can become whatever you want in life despite your family background.
Wow, so inspirational. And on that note, please tell us more about the drives, the other drives and other initiatives. I feel like, you know what, people are getting motivated. I'm getting WhatsApp messages. People are inspired to also start something in their communities. Please tell us more about your initiatives.
Yeah, maybe before you come in, because I was following you on social media. More specifically, I know you have the Christmas drive, which I always look forward to around Christmas. I see you wearing, those, red hats and all that. Yeah, so tell us a little bit more about that. Then later on, we can talk about, your sewing with Creseldah. Then we can also get some inspiration for some of the people that are listening that would like to tap on your wisdom on these ones.
Thank you so much. In 2013, I think I've got so much love for the children. That's my soft spot. I've got so much love for children in a way. When I went to my team, every time I believe we cannot survive at our own. We need somebody always who can support the initiatives and all that. So if there's any idea that comes to mind, I'll share with others and say, whoever wants to join, let's do it. And then in 2013, I remember we went to one of the hospitals around in our area in Kuhlu. And when I went there, I was going to the ward for, what do you call it, the children's ward, I forgot whatever you call it, this academic it's patriotic water, something like that. And when we get there, there were many kids. What I did, we bought toys, we brought meals, some snacks. They had no more, not Muslim sweets, but those healthy snack and all that. And we brought toys. Then there was a lady who was sewing those dolls with the wool. So it was needed dolls and all that. So we gave the gifts and all that. As I said, I'm just that emotional person. I cried, not in front of them though, but then I went to the corner, I was crying after giving all those gifts, and it was Christmas. They were sick. parents came to see their kids, and many things happened during that program. So when we were going out, the nurse who took us out, we walked through the maternity ward. Then I saw those little ones with the newborns that were there. My heart just got melted. So I said, no, can we do something for the little ones, the newborn? Who was the first child here? Then they brought the first child. We quickly went to the shopping complex and bought something. Said, no, this is the gift for the newborn, for the first child in
Christmas.
Christmas. From there, the initiatives grow so big. I don't even know how when we were getting, now the CEO of the hospital started joining us annually. He
Oh, yeah.
never missed that celebration. Every time, I
Yeah.
remember now, in 20, when was COVID? 2020. I was not
2020.
well. Yes, I was not well during the week. So,
Mm,
and 2 days before the Christmas, I can feel that I'm not really fine. But then I
mm,
was skeptically to go to the doctor to do the test. And then I was like, what if they find that it's COVID-19 is positive? Obviously, I'll have to isolate now. I won't go to the hospital. I said, no, let me wait. I'll go and check after Christmas party. My daughter was very angry with me after the Christmas. I don't know how I drove to the hospital. When we get there, during COVID, remember, we're not getting inside the wards. We were just outside handing over what we have. And from there, when I get home, I was really sick now. When I went to check, and obviously I was, what do you call it, COVID-19.
COVID
I
19.
tested positive. And that, it was so severe that I was on oxygen for almost 10 days.
Wow.
It was
Wow.
very bad. But then what I've loved about saving, my heart was at peace. And it's something that happened annually, as I said. Then late, and now again, the other program that we added after the Christmas one, because for the Christmas one, those hats you see that we're wearing, Dr. HLAMI, I'm making
Yes.
them. I just buy
Oh,
those fleece, red and white, we trim, we
okay.
sew them. That's why you see other years it's red and green, red and white. We
I
sewing
see.
them.
I see.
And
I
lately we
see.
introduced the sock, the Christmas sock. So when we get there, we were not just
Oh,
receiving the kids from the receiving, normal receiving blankets, because
yeah.
I wanted to do something which would be more calming, more happy, more,
Yeah.
which will be exciting for me as well, actually. So when we get there, we'll be sewing this Christmas sock now, and in carry those newborns on the Christmas sock, and making the Christmas hat for them, those little
Yeah.
head. If our theme is red and green, they will be also wearing red and green. So it's something, sometimes we're not going to even get a sponsor for the year. I'll do
Yeah.
it out of my pocket, but
Yeah.
it's something when you do out of love, it's quite interesting. And last year
Absolutely.
as well, we introduced the car guard. I remember when I go to town all the time, when when you see those car guards, car attendants in
Mm,
the
mm,
parking
mm,
lots,
mm.
and my kids always say, no, we mustn't give them 5 rand or 10 rand. They will always say, let's give them something. What if they actually started when I told them they are not getting a salary, though they are officially employed because they have shirts and so in the uniform and all that, but they are not getting a salary. And I started researching the lives of the car guards now. Then I found that they don't get the salaries in some other shopping complex. They have to pay the rent first. Then whatever they get, that's where they will take it. Will be their own. So we made a huge Christmas party last year for the car guards, and we bought them
Oh,
uniforms. We brought them meal. Their
wow.
speech touched me. And then the other guy said to us, we never thought anyone can see us here. We thought maybe others, they just see the Nyaube boys, they just see the
Mm,
kids who failed from school, failed from life. No one is taking us serious. But you guys came here and think about us. We all
wow.
cried. So basically, those programs, those initiatives, it's something
Wow.
that touches the heart and make me get excited and feeling more peace after doing them.
Wow. I mean, I think you said something that you are such an emotional person. I am an emotional person as well. Mandla will know that I write poems and all that. There's this one poem that I wrote, which says, the language of my emotions. Just express
Wow.
how I just cry and whatnot. As you are talking, it's like the language of my emotions want to kick
Oh.
in because it's so deep, it is so deep, it's so deep, and I
Thank
see
you.
the passion. But also, I think what I'm learning from what we are saying, it's you're not doing it for the fame, you're not doing it for the money, you are doing it because this is what your heart wants to do. Wow, 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 wow. Now I
Thank you.
understand really when you talk about, this kindness is the currency. It is so, so, so evident in the work that you are doing. Are we going to take another commercial break? This is the last one. When we come back, we still want to tap your brains around, the sewing, with Creselda, and also some of, the other initiatives that you still have. So we're going to take a very short break. And when we come back, we're going to listen to more of your inspiring stories.
Thank you.
Ooh, welcome back. Welcome back. When you are having fun, Mandla, the time flies. I don't know how come we only have about 15 minutes to go. I wish we could, extend the hours and hours so that we can learn a lot from, Criselda. Mandla, what are your thoughts there, my friend? Okay, so Criselda, let us hear a little bit more about your sewing with Criselda. And I know from this talk, that you actually studied, fashion design and all that. Now I see where the love for sewing is. May you please tell us a little bit more about that initiative?
When I started the sewing lessons, I was empowering women and mostly girls and teenagers
Mm-hmm.
to have a skills development because I believe skills have golden opportunities.
Mm,
And if you can check around our academic system somehow, when I want to talk about it, when our maybe let me say our children pass from high school,
mm,
then most of them they don't even access tertiary institutions because of getting those 30% and all other reasons.
mm,
And most of them they don't even reach to grade 12 because of the teenage pregnancy. So the program, the sewing, skills development sewing, I
mm,
introduced it. The main reason was to empower women and girls. And it's, when you introduce something out of love and you get more passionate about it and you're seeing the impact. And when I started it, I thought, no, let me just give back to the community just only for 3 months.
mm,
Let me teach them how to do some basic, introducing them basic sewing skills and teach them how to start business in sewing. But from there, the program grow up. I don't know, it expanded in a way that I don't even know how it went to that direction. But
mm,
then it became so big in a way that now the system that came that I introduced, it was now teaching a man how to fish. That's why through my foundation,
mm.
I don't believe in giving handouts only. I believe in empowering you
Yeah.
and teaching you how to fish so tomorrow you can empower the next person. I think for me,
Mm,
that's how I believe in sustainability when it comes to charity work. It's not
yeah.
about getting donations and distributing and that's it. So now the
Mm,
sewing project came there, and while it was growing and all that, I believe in the quality things as well. And I
mm,
said, no, I can see now this is just a basic sewing skills. How about
mm.
getting the accreditation and make it more formal education for
Oh,
somebody who didn't even go to tertiary? Now they'll have time to
yeah.
graduate and they have time now to get these NQ levels and all that. You
I
see,
see. I
now as I
see.
speak, the CL is CLM Training Academy. We are accredited with FP and MCTA,
Ah.
and our accreditation expires in 2027. Now I'm in a process introducing more accreditations on that one, but we are accredited. It's a formal academy, sewing academy, and lately, through the love that I have, as I said, through all out the interview, introduced the YouTube channel where I said it's my
Yes.
sewing room, sewing with
Yeah.
Creseldah. So
Yes.
that's where I'm teaching mostly basic sewing skills, and because there are people who cannot even go and maybe register at our school, and but then they want to learn these sewing skills and all that. So I
Yeah.
introduced the sewing academy,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's growing, still
I'll,
small, but it's just an impact which I want to make,
yeah.
and helping one person as well at a
Yeah.
time.
You know what I like? I like, with the advancement of, technology, so you have an opportunity not only to impact, the people in and around your area, but you are able to also touch lives, through your social media and all that. While we're talking about social media, your social media channel and stuff, I also want you to share a little bit about I am Creseldah. I've seen that. I know that, there might be something in the pipeline that we are working on. I saw your post. I would like us to share a little bit more about, that. I am Creseldah. What is it all about? And what do you want to achieve with that? I am Creseldah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Tlami. I'm sorry about that. Uh,
No problem.
so I'm
Okay.
sorry about that, but then this
No, it's okay.
it's a channel that is coming up actually. So the channel is coming up. It's my YouTube channel. I started it in, I think it's about 2012. But every time I start doing the episodes, I become emotional, and then everything stops. And I just shared it now on social media. Said I think the time is now, despite all the emotions and all that. But I think I need to let this.
Emotions.
Introduced, and I
Yeah.
believe it somehow it will inspire someone, and it will heal little Criseldas as much as I'll be sharing my journey. So when I say I am Criselda, this is the YouTube channel which it's there. We have recorded most of the episodes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm losing you. Okay. That YouTube channel. I am Creseldah. Losing you. Okay. So we will go on and, listen to that. Um, it's very, very inspiring. I actually was following, Creselda on the YouTube channel, on social media, and I'm so looking forward to actually gaining and listening to the content, that she's generating at the back of, or in, behind, those closed doors. I Listeners, if you were to look at, her social media channel, you'll actually see she shared a little bit the reason why she want to share a piece of her with all of us. As we've heard at the beginning, she said, she became a teen mom to her siblings at the age of 16, and her mom was a domestic worker. The mom only came home maybe after 3 months or so. When you look at her life, there she could have anything that was an obstacle in her life for her to actually succeed and become something. But through the hope that she had, through her faith, she actually broke, all the barriers that, one could actually potentially see. And she stood up and say, you know what, I am Creselda. I'm going to tell my story. And and I like, the emotions that, she comes with, because that is part of the journey. It's part of the story. I can see Abraham Manasseh say, when he's saying, you did an excellent job. I love you. They actually love you. Creseldah, I am Creseldah. Tell us a bit more about that, because listeners want to see that. And the emotions are okay. This is the language of the emotions. It's part of the journey, it's part of your story. Hmm.
Thank you, Dr. Hlami, and allow me to say thank you so much to Dr. Abraham. I met him, I remember I met him through Sesbek and Samwisi. And since then, he introduced many programs, mostly the Bible study, which is more than the Bible study. And he has been so supportive. Sorry, I just heard you mentioning him. I didn't see the message, but
Yes.
thank you,
Yes.
Dr. Abraham, for being there for us. He's giving all this emotional support, and all the time. So I appreciate him for that. And coming back to the I Am Creseldah show, I Am Creseldah, everything happening around me, it's because I am Creseldah. Everything happened, it was meant to be. And I Am Creseldah, it's the journey which I'll be sharing, the journey of becoming the help that I once needed as a child. And many things happen when we grow up. What I've learned in life, I'll quote something which Dr. Abraham once mentioned and caught my attention the other time on one of the programs, saying, there's no new problem in life. So once we see the problem, it means there's a solution. Somebody once went through that, and others went through a lot than we think we have been through. So our journey are different. So mine, it's my own story, but if I didn't stand firm and said I want to be the child which I am today, I wouldn't be here.
I
So
see.
the show, it will tell, and it will also give an opportunity. There will be many episodes where we are talking with some of our beneficiaries, where they tell the story, and we'll be talking about the people who are doing the community work, because charity work, when you're starting to tapping into community development, you need to know. I mentioned during the beginning of our program to say you cannot start a charity organization and it depends on donations. Once you start an organization because you need funding, to me, that's where I see you are in the wrong field. It's not
Yep.
about, yes, we need money to function, I know, but then you start something because you have a heart for it and you need to put back the effort and make an impact from that. So Creseldah's show,
Absolutely.
it's all about it, telling the
Absolutely.
story that I am today.
Absolutely. Mandla. Whew.
Yeah, you know what? I'm speechless. Criselda's story is one that has to be written down and documented. You know what? She even deserves a poem. Hey, Doc, and
Oh,
Absolutely.
everything.
Absolutely. It will be
It's
coming.
so beautiful. You know what? I'm sitting here just listening and I'm looking at you. I'm like, oh my goodness, talk about a Proverbs 31 woman. We are talking to one here, and it's quite fascinating. So, yes, thank you for gracing us. Thank you for opening your heart and sharing your story with us. I'm sure you have touched a lot of people out there, and you know what? People are waiting to hear and see the show and follow you. Please share with us your contact details before you can tell us what you want to tell us now.
And lastly, allow me to appreciate the opportunity to talk with the listeners today through this channel. And thank you very much, Dr. Hlami, again for the platform, and to our amazing presenter. Thank you so much. I appreciate that opportunity. And so before I share my contacts, I wanna mention that in life, God always send strangers to hold our hands. We know strangers sometimes are always described in a bad way and all that. and I know I've been there as well, I know. But I just want to talk in the positive side. In 2017, I met this young lady through social media. She's the one I'll talk about her more during the I Am Creseldah show, because she's the one actually pushed everything, said, no, you need to tell your story. I said, no. We recorded all the episodes. I was recording everything, being shallow, because I don't want to talk about myself. They said, no, we can't give that out now. We need to talk about who is Creseldah. So
Yeah.
in that manner, I just want to say we need somebody to be there for us, and God always send ravens, and it really worked. And I'm so grateful and humble for such people, because I'm one of the person when we leave, I want to leave you better than the time I met you. So I also
Absolutely.
want to meet
Absolutely.
other people where they will leave me better the way that we met
Absolutely.
before. So my contacts, I'm on mostly in all social media platforms. I'm Facebook, I'm Creseldah Cassandra. Twitter is at Creseldah. I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, and my YouTube channel is I Am Creseldah. And I also have a website. It's www.creseldah.com. So
Wow.
it can give a link to
Wow.
all my charity work and all my other social enterprise
Wow.
work.
Wow. What a brand. What a brand. Thank you. Thank you so, so much for really allowing us to have a piece of you and our listeners. Mandla, I don't know what more to say. Mandla, over to you.
No, thank you so much to our beautiful guests. And I know our audience, our listeners have been blessed just like I have. So, Doc, on that note, we'd like to thank our producers, DJ Mercy, for another brilliant show where we shared and we learned we are better than before, and looking forward to the next African story that we're going to hear an African telling it themselves. You see, we wouldn't get all these emotions and motivation if we were hearing it from a third party. So
Yeah,
that is what we are all about on the African experience. And on that
absolutely.
note, Doc, good night, stay blessed. Next week, same time, same place. Let's meet again and get inspired. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
Streaming 24/7. 24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika nakupenda sana. Oh.